Hello, this is Adrian Baker from Agile Horizons. And on this short video today, I want to talk to you about moving from being a traditional manager to an Agile leader. Now, at Agile Horizons, we do a half-day course in Agile leadership, and I'm just going to give a quick taste of what that course is all about. On the course, we challenge traditional ideas of management and we introduce new approaches to leadership by looking at various different influential writers such as Douglas McGregor, Simon Sinek, Daniel Pink, Jeff Sutherland, and so on. On this short video, we're just going to look at one of these, which is Douglas McGregor. So Douglas McGregor was a management professor working in the US and writing in the 50s and early 60s. His most famous idea is called Theory X and Theory Y. So let's dig into this. With Theory X, the assumption is that people are lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to take on responsibility. The only reason they are at work is to get paid. So consequently, they need to be pushed or pulled and need to be constantly monitored. Otherwise, they're going to slacken off and nothing will happen. Theory Y is very different. Theory Y says that work is natural for humans. It's part of the human condition, and that people will enjoy new challenges, people are pleased to learn new things, and people will appreciate some sort of autonomy in their work if the conditions are right. Digging into Theory X often leads to what is called carrot and stick type management. If you do it, you will be rewarded, hence the carrot being dangled in front of us. If you do it badly, you may be punished or may not get the rewards. Now, if you go to Google and research this, you will find many articles that are actually in favor of carrot and stick type management, and many articles that have been written quite recently. So clearly the idea is very much alive and kicking now, and a lot of people think that it is a really great idea. However, from an agile perspective, it doesn't really fit into an agile mindset. And so I think we need to have a bit of a critique of this carrot and stick approach. So first of all, the carrot approach. At first glance, it seems quite reasonable. You work hard, you do something good, you get a reward for it. What could be wrong with that? Well, the problem is that the sort of things managers may be dangling in front of people's faces, such as promotions, pay rises, bonuses, and so on, may not be that easy to achieve. And so if the manager doesn't come good with all these potential rewards, people may become very resentful. And it could lead to a lack of trust in that manager. But lastly, and most importantly, it sets the wrong mindset. It leads to a sort of mentality where people will say, well, you want me to do this? What's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this? What are you going to reward me with? And that is really not where we want to be, particularly in an agile environment where we want self-motivating teams that are working together, delivering regularly, and enjoying their work. Next, the stick approach, which is perhaps even worse. You may get some short-term gain by shouting at people and saying, this has to be done by this deadline, otherwise terrible things are going to happen. But as a long-term strategy, I think it is particularly counterproductive. If you carry on shouting at people and telling them they're not working hard enough, people could become demotivated. They could become depressed, despondent. Secondly, people don't always respond well to threats. People don't like being threatened. And thirdly, taken to its logical conclusion, this could become workplace bullying. As soon as a manager says, your job is on the line if you don't do this, then this starts to look like workplace bullying, which is a big problem, could lead to HR cases, could even lead to legal cases. So the carrot and stick is not looking so great within an agile framework. Let's go back and look at theory Y. So going back to theory Y, this is where the assumption is that working is part of the human condition. And this seems quite reasonable because if we think humans lived for many, many thousands of years as hunter-gatherers, and we had to hunt, forage, find shelter, and if we didn't do that, life would all be over fairly quickly. So it seems reasonable to think that humans are working species. Then goes on to say that given the right environments, people will enjoy new challenges, will enjoy learning new things, and will enjoy a sense of autonomy over what they're doing. if the environment is right. And this is where managers and leaders really come into play. We need agile leaders to inspire people, to make people understand why this work is so important, why it's so valuable. We need them to set goals, maybe short-term goals or longer-term goals, so we have something that we're working towards. And during this time when the work is being done, our leaders can give guidance and give recognition when the work is being done and being done well. So moving on to how does theory Y fit in with agile and agile teams? First of all, within agile teams, there is always a sense of achievement because they're constantly delivering something. Every sprint, there is a new increment that's being delivered. A sense of autonomy, we're looking at self-managing teams. And in terms of learning, we're looking at cross-functional teams. We need all the skills to deliver the product. And so team members are constantly working on broadening their skills and deepening the skills within their area of specialism. Also with goals, particularly with Scrum, we have product goals and we have sprint goals. So there seems like a good resonance between theory Y and the agile way of working. So that's about it for today for this short video. We've seen that Douglas McGregor's theory X and theory Y is something that can help managers to evolve towards agile leaders. If you like what you've heard, as I say, we do have a half-day course on agile leadership at Agile Horizons. Go over to agilehorizons.com where you will find more information. And on this course, we look at not just Douglas McGregor, but many other influential writers such as Jeff Sutherland, Simon Sinek, Daniel Pink, etc. And again, we're challenging typical traditional management techniques and looking at how managers can evolve into agile leaders. That's about it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will respond as soon as I can. And thanks very much for listening.